I'm Belinda. This is the turtleneck cho, and as you can see, it's rather nice. Rather nice, rather nice, rather warm. Nice to fold down like this. We made two versions. One of them is the Buttoned Cho. This is the turtleneck cho, and we designed two because I originally designed this one, and then Ruth thought that people may not want to knit it in the round, so she designed one that has buttons down the front, which are actually very practical and rather nice, and you want to do it like this, and you will see probably on one of our designs cards, or one of down here or up here or somewhere where it is. So how does this get made? First of all, what's it made of? It's made of butter soft, which is 100% baby alpaca, which is absolutely beautiful. Can you lovely, 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 lovely. Incredibly soft. I don't think we can even explain how soft this is. It is so lovely, lovely, lovely. Really, people often pick it up when we go to trade shows and pick it up and go, oh my goodness, it is really, really soft. So this is butter soft. The way that it's made is you cast on here, circular needles, keep it loose. Make sure that when you cast on that you pull the stitches on the circular needles far apart and get some idea that you are going to make it that big. If you cast on too tightly, you won't get it actually over your head. So that's that. So you cast on here. You're then working something very easy, which is moss stitch, or in North America they call it seed stitch. And as you can see, it's knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. The next row is you're doing purl, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, etc., etc. That's what you do backwards and forwards. So you're creating a basket weave, which is rather nice. Cables, if you don't know how to do a cable, please either look back on one of our films here, because we are bound to have one soon, or Google, how to do cables, and you will see it is very simply having stitches on a needle, comme ça, moving some of them forward and literally swapping them. So you knit from this section here, you swap them over to here, and you're doing that. So you're swapping them backwards and forwards, hence getting this. And that's where you would do the swapping, along there and then along there, etc., etc. So you're doing here moss stitch, if you can see, moss stitch, and then you're doing here just knitting, straight knits, then you're doing moss stitch again, straight knitting, moss stitch again, knitting, moss stitch again, blah, 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 all the way around, until you get to this row here where you're doing a cable, which is when you cross the stitches over. So you keep doing that for the next section, if you can see, and you do that for all of this part on circular needles, and then you get to this part where you're obviously going, as you can see, it gets quite big, and you end up with quite a lot of stitches. And what you're doing is incrementally, here you go, little by little by little on this bit, you're increasing. And what you're doing is you're doing something called a yarn over, which is when you bring the yarn from the front over the needle to the back, and then you knit a stitch, and you carry on knitting and following the pattern. Repeat, or whatever pattern design you're doing. And on the way back, what you're doing is actually knitting that yarn over, which actually gives you a hole, as you can see. If you do something called a make one, which is when you're picking up the bar, if you know what I mean by that, but when you have two stitches and you pick up the bar, which is here between the two stitches, that's a make one, and you could do it that way. That's not the way it is on the pattern card, but you could do that. And that what you do is you don't get a hole. But we quite liked, well, I quite liked the holes. So what you do is you're, again, where you're doing the cable, if you can see here, you're increasing, 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 and then for this section you stop, because what I wanted it to do is actually to sit on your shoulders. So you get to, sorry, sorting out my hair, sorting out my plaits. So you have this, like this. And you see, I'm doing a little spin here, and I have a nice little spin up to my wall. Like a little dolly. Little dolly. And it's called, let me tell you, it's actually called a cho because it's like a poncho, but it's not enough of one, is it? It's like, just I mean, it's a half poncho. Could be called a pon. But anyway, we decided to call it cho. So it's a cho. Pon. It's a pon on with Cho, but yeah, turtlenecked. This is a turtlenecked Cho. And as you can see, back to this, is that from here onwards, you're just carrying on, not increasing, just going round and round and round. The cable goes right to the end, I quite like that, but you're actually putting on a border along the bottom, just to put it all together, a rib. And what actually is quite nice about that is that you've got, you just finished it off, I thought, quite nicely. So that's what that is. Very nice and practical to wear under your coat. And you know, as I'm getting older, I tend to find that I'm getting a little chilly on my chest. Oh, that's true. There, so a little chilly on my chest. So there you go. Yeah, a couple of grey hairs. Not many. Got dark hair still. I don't mind. I quite like the idea of going grey. I think, do you know what I mean? I wonder if I'll get out the dye pot. Give myself. I have been pink in the past. And peroxide blonde. Can you imagine? Thinner then. Well, younger. Thinner. Whatever. But you know, sometimes I do think. I know, not so long ago I was actually bred, and it's rather nice little bob like this, like that. Very nicely cut, very straight fringe, like that. And bright red like a bus. Lots to maintain, because you get your black roots here. I'm digressing, aren't I, from knitting, but no matter. Hair, this. Plaits and dark hair. There you go. So as I get older, as I'm saying, get cold on my chest. So this is actually ideal. If you'd like to download it, it's down here. Or if you don't want to download it and actually you want the pattern card in your muddy paw, which is actually quite nice, so you can file it in it. They're all in A5 and they're glossy on one side and matte on the other. So that's that, and you can buy it from us. If you want to knit this in our yarn, it takes 2 Buttersoft, which again, go down there, and you can buy. And we'll post it to you. Our dispatch department will zoop it to you as fast as we can, which is great. If you want to knit it in something else, which is absolutely fine, you know, if you do want to play with other yarn, please do. You know, if you want to knit it in, I don't know, silk with crystals or whatever, I don't know. Quite nice that, I think I may. It would hang though, wouldn't it? If you had lots of silk, it'd be heavy and, okay, forget that. Anyway, crystals are nice. I quite like crystals. I think it's sparkly. It's like eyeshadow, look. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so enough of that. And yeah, you can find it on our yarn page down here if you'd like to look at all our different yarns. Unique yarn, it says. Or down here where you can actually buy it directly. 2 of these. If you want to knit it in other yarn, please do look on the pattern card. Or down there it actually says the meterage of the yarn. Make sure that you're getting roughly the same meterage to 100 grams, because and make sure that they do have the same, as near as you possibly can, to what the meterage is, because you'll have otherwise you'll have something very, very large. For instance, if this was 166 meters per 100 grams, I don't think it is. I think it may be 100. Anyway, just make sure that you know you're 20% either way in the yarn you're going to buy, because otherwise you'll either end up with something colossal or something very thin and baggy, which actually may be very nice, and I may try that. I wonder if you knitted this pattern and just kept going in lace weight, it would, I suppose it would be very, very small. If you use the same size needles, it wouldn't be. I think it's all fascinating. Knitting is fascinating. The possibilities are endless. Please have some fun. Look at other designs on our website and enjoy. Pick up the needles and start to knit. And if you want to learn, again, somewhere down here on the navigation bar, it'll actually tell you how to do it and where to do it, and just very practically casting on with rather nice little Brazilian music in the back.